It's one all, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Hello and welcome to MoreZone, everything Call of Duty Warzone and more. My name is Alan Bryce and I'll be bringing you every week the top news, tips and gameplay from Call of Duty Warzone. Now, we've got a big show to go through, but here's a little taste of what's coming up. In MoreZone news, we check out the latest in patch notes and everything that's gone on from the Warzone competitions to the competition in the CDL. Top 5 clips of the week, these are the gameplays from our community, just who shines and takes the #1 spot. We check in with Zed from Paris Legion this week about what he likes to run when he drops into Warzone. We take a little look this week at where you could drop and where you should drop and what to expect when you go there.
It's one all, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Alright, well, looks like we've got a packed show for you this week. Let's get into our first section then, the MoreZone Weekly News. Okay, first up, let's talk about the last patch notes. Well, to much rejoicing through the Call of Duty community, the snake shots have been reduced for the 357, making them less viable in Warzone and Publics together. So that's good news for a lot of people wanting that to come out. Next up, we have a playlist update. Now, a few things have been changed. BR solos have been replaced with BR stimulus solos. The benefit of this game mode is that if you can get $4,500 in cash, you will catch an automatic revive, allowing you to drop back in. So, if you're able to rack up that cash, then this is the game for you. Another addition to Call of Duty Warzone is, of course, the helicopters. Helicopters have returned. Now, for me, they're a personal favourite because I happen to be the best helicopter pilot on any Battle Royale ever. Although my teammates don't quite think so. In regards to the general game, of course, we are seeing shipment has been replaced with 10v10 shipment. And as you can see, it gets a little bit hectic. So, if you want fast and furious gameplay and a quite large chance of dying every single spawn, this is the playlist for you. Spray, pray, and have fun. Not only have they changed shipment, but if you're a big fan of gunfight, well, maybe it's time to get the knives out. The knives only 3v3 playlist is also here. It's much more difficult than normal gunfight. As you can probably see from my gameplay, it's not easy to always get a knife kill. Next up for updates this week, Warzone Wednesday is the Warzone competition we'll be focusing on. And of course, Week 7 has gone. Vikkstar, the back-to-back winner of that. Week 8 is, of course, coming up. Now, if you don't know what Warzone Wednesday is, here's how it works. Warzone Wednesdays is a knockout tournament with a double elimination bracket. 2 duos stand up against each other and join a party as a squad and queue up. 2 standard games will then be played. The duo with the most kills across the 2 games proceeds to the next round. The losers drop into the lower bracket for another chance at victory. This goes all the way until we have our eventual winner. This week, Week 7, it was of course Vikkstar and its Wars, nailing a total of 233 eliminations throughout the tournament and prize money of $20,000. Big win for them, big win for Vikkstar, going back to back. And of course, tomorrow will be Week 8. So you guys, if you want to, can join in and watch there. You can see it on Keemstar's channel as well as many of the streamers. So make sure to tune in and take some tips on how to get high kill games. From one competition to the next, but slightly different. This one is, of course, the CDL. We have just had CDL Florida. And this time, Atlanta FaZe walked away with that championship. It's the second for them so far in the season, putting them in a very good standing so far in the league. If you are, of course, a homegrown fan like myself, the London Royal Ravens didn't have as good of a week, unfortunately only winning 1 map out of the 2 games they were played before they were knocked out of the tournament. Here's hoping they do a little bit better, though, as time goes on, because let's face it, if you're from the UK, all our hopes rest on them. Alright, well, there is the news for you, just briefly coming in this week, but we will expand it in future weeks to cover more of what you want to see regarding Warzone and Call of Duty. Now, up next, a fan favourite section that I'm sure, well, we're going to go into our top 5 plays and clips of the week. If you do want to submit, you can submit them here on our socials, the MoreZone on Twitter or the MoreZone Reddit. We will, of course, be taking a look at those and putting them up and editing the best clips we can find. So, without further ado, here are the top 5 clips. First up, we have Rated Card from the London Royal Ravens, and here is a pro tip for Warzone. If you're ever going to shoot at a pro player, make sure you get them on the first try. Otherwise, bad things.
Jesus Christ! Oh!
Next up, it's Riley Hampson, and sometimes you can't get into Warzone with the guns you would like, so you have to make do. Here's him doing exactly that with the 7.25 and an RPG.
Check your bloody fire!
Setting a charge. I'm taking fire!
Taking a look now at Carmenez 1907. Sometimes in Warzone, you have to do the business. Not only is he making multi-kills and staying alive in the final circle, but he's also going to get his teammates back in the gas, high risk, high reward. And as you'll see with the rest of this clip, his whole team walks away with a dub.
Loadout'a iniyorum ben.
Ben de. Team wipe aldım ben burada bir tane.
Fatih var ya.
Aynen şu an
Hayatının oyununu oynuyor.
şu an neler
Hadi abi
yapıyor.
hadi
Neler
dağıtmayın dağıtmayın. Daha
Bu bina,
bitmedi oyun.
bu bina, üst kat.
RPG.
Team wipe, işte bu. İşte bu.
If you're lucky, you've got the right tools at the right time. And a heartbeat sensor comes in clutch here for Jackie Chandler. Finds bodies on it and ends up spraying through a door, dropping a team and walking away from what could have been a very dangerous scenario if he didn't know they were there. Have you ever wondered just how good a Call of Duty World Champion is at Call of Duty Warzone? Well, here's your answer in a clip.
Holy shit, where at?
They're all dead. They're stuffing.
Something dead.
Got them all.
Let's go.
Well done.
You're nuts, Scott.
It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Alright, well, there are our top 5 clips of the week. Some very good ones in there, and of course, just to remind you, if you do want to submit your own clips to see whether or not they can make it on the show, go and check out the MoreZone Reddit, which is just r/MoreZone, or you can send them to our Twitter, the MoreZone, and we'll be checking those frequently to see who has the very best plays for next week. Now, moving on, if you have been looking at those plays and thinking, well, that's pretty impressive, but how do I get better at Warzone? Well, we sat down and talked to Zed from Paris Legion in the CDL and avid Warzone player himself to take us through what loadout he likes to use. So let's have a look at that interview. Alright, thank you for joining me here. Now, let's jump straight into your loadout. Playing a lot of Warzone recently. Let's go through it. I see you've been using the Growl.
Yeah, the best gun in the game currently. Absolute laser beam at long range, which is what you want. Because there's a bunch of dads in Warzone that just camp everywhere. So you want to be able to just pick them off from long range. So.
Alright, well, that's good to hear, I suppose. Let's take me through it then. Now, you've got a few attachments onto this, and take me through it. Let's start with the lightweight suppressor.
Honestly, I just put this on simply because Den's told me to.
Right, okay.
I know that this gun is OP and this is what he uses. So whether the other big streamers that use this gun use this attachment, I don't know. But this is just what we rock. I think it just keeps you a bit quicker as well. Because I used to run the dual wield magnums with this class. But because they're gone now, the movement's you're a bit slower. So I'll put this lightweight suppressor on just to keep me a bit quicker around the map.
Okay, fair enough. I think that kind of works out. So the barrel, the Tempest. Now this is the Archangel.
Yeah, I believe this is the best attachment in the game, according to the stats, I think. I think it just makes this gun incredible, and I think this is the attachment you need to make it do what it does. So
This is the one that changes the sight, right? It has the sort of like the pin attachment.
yeah,
as you can see.
yeah, it makes it like a better sight to use on this gun as well, because the other sight's horrible. So
Fair enough. The laser, 5mm laser.
yeah, I do this just for like sprint to fire speed and like hip fire, because obviously I like to play quick around on Warzone. So I'm going to be getting caught sprinting a lot as usual in competitive. So
Fair enough. Not a problem with that at all. Okay, let's move in. Commando foregrip. That's pretty standard in competitive
this is
play.
just the same one as the M4. It's just a standard one to kind of keep all the accuracy like traits kind of high, so it brings them all back up to a nice amount.
And then the 60 round mag.
Yeah, I tend to go with this one just to, I mean, in Warzone people have plates, so you need enough bullets to be able to like take 2 of them down without having to reload. So because reloading is what gets you killed most of the time, so I tend to just stick with 60 round mag on most of my guns I use.
That's fair enough. Very well rounded setup then, I think. A lot of people running the growl.
Yeah.
Seems to be the meta game. Let's move on then. Now you've gone for overkill to allow you to run a kind of a second game and run a second automatic, the MP5.
Yeah, as I said previously, like I did use the dual wheel pistols. I was that guy, the scumbag, but obviously they got nerfed, so I've gone back to the MP5, which I'm pretty sure a lot of the big YouTubers and like streamers that play Warzone do run the MP5, from what I've watched anyway. And I use it in competitive, so it's just, I mean, I know it's a good gun, so I tend to use that.
What are the big differences, kind of between them? And you use the 10mm ammo in competitive, and now you switch it out for the 9mm. Why?
Yeah, again, like the MP5 isn't the strongest weapon in Warzone compared to like some of the other guns, so just having the extra 15 bullets instead of the 30 mag is like, I mean, it's going to save you at the end of the day. So I mean, between the two guns I have 105 bullets, so without having to reload, so
That's
I
fair
can
enough.
I can
That's
pretty
fair
much take down the whole team by myself.
I'm sure you can as well. Let's move on to your perks then. This time you've got double time, overkill, and tracker. I'm guessing the double time just to be a little bit faster around the map.
Yeah, I used to, for large majority of the time I play Warzone, I use cold-blooded, but then I just got to the point I was like, well, it doesn't matter if anyone sees me anyway, because if they see me, it's probably too late for them. So now I use double time, and like me and Dens and like all the people I play with, we run double time, so people know what Warzone's like. Most of the time you're sprinting, so we just put that on and just have fun running around the map. It's fun.
Fair enough. Overkill's the obvious one. Get that second gun. Tracker is interesting.
Yeah, tracker's like, I don't know what like other people use, but I mean, tracker just, you're gonna see red footsteps, so you can just follow them around. That gets me a lot of kills. Tracker does, so I've stuck with that since the beginning.
Makes sense to me. Now let's move on to lethal and tactical. Very common setup here. You've got the C4. Why is the C4 so effective?
I just like it because, I mean, one, very effective against vehicles. I think that was a big part of why people started using it in the first place. And just like, you're going to run into a lot of campers. The majority of the player base are campers, so you're just going to be able to throw one through the window and say goodbye to them and send them back to the queue. So it's a big necessity right there.
Fair enough. Makes a lot of sense to me. And then, of course, the other one, the heartbeat sensor, just to make sure you can hunt down campers.
Standard, just, I mean, if you get your loadout early, you're going to be walking around the map just... The thing with Warzone for me is anyone can kill anyone. And there's no, like, there's not that big of a skill gap.
Okay.
So, like, you need to have every advantage you can. So being able to know exactly where someone is in a building is going to help you 10 times.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. Well, that kind of covers your loadout. Now, let's talk a little bit about whereabouts you like to drop on Warzone.
My favourite place right now is, I mean, it was Superstore, but I've come to the realization that everywhere on the map, everyone lands. No matter where I go, everyone goes. So I like Superstore. I like the bunkers in airport, the 4 bunkers together. That's a good spot, because then you can rotate to like the police building and then like rotate through the map. to rotate to Superstore to kill people that are left because the fight's going on. So anywhere around that area, like airport, that's a good place to land for me.
Awesome. Sounds good to me. And last but not least, people that are watching want to know, what's your biggest tip for Warzone?
Get money fast, because money's going to be like your best friend in, I mean, it's kind of apparent playing Warzone, but if you can get that loadout early and like go around and you have enough for UAVs and you're riding around the map with your loadouts before other teams can, because the thing that's going to get you killed is other teams having their loadout. So if you can beat them to it and just like go at them fast, you're gonna win the game very quickly.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much for joining us here and taking your time. We'll let you get back to playing in the studio and playing Warzone. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Well, there you go. Thank you very much for Zed for coming on and showing us his loadout and giving us a tip or two on how to play Warzone. But as you saw in that interview, he mentioned where he likes to drop. So we thought we'd explore this week Superstore. Let's jump straight into it and take a look at this prominent location on the Warzone map. Today's map highlight is going to be the prominent location on the Warzone map known as Superstore. Prominent for several reasons, one of which being that it is very centrally located, allowing you to rotate to various areas such as Storage Town, Airport, or if you really stretch it out, all the way down into Hospital. But more importantly, this is a very prominent place on the map because it's where you go if you want to get involved in a fight straight away. With a large open-topped roof, you are going to see many players drop here and squads. So if you do drop, make sure that you're either landing on a weapon straight away or you're going to put that pistol to devastating use. It is also one of the locations where there is quite a lot of loot to be had if you can survive long enough. Not only is there some sparse loot decorated around the roof, but once you've done the roof and got away from that fire zone, you can then start moving inside. And once you've moved inside, you will find a very different environment. It is cramped, claustrophobic, and dark. There are many corners for enemies to hide in, there are many angles for you to get taken down, but the reverse is also true. If that's your playstyle, you can be very sneaky inside and try to pick up a few kills and get away in and amongst the shelving. It is not completely flat inside, however. There is some verticality from between the shelves and some windows overlooking the main floor. You have to keep your wits about you at all times. The benefit of this, though, there is a substantial amount of loot in and around the ground floor of this building. You can loot up, get enough cash, and maybe go to a loadout. There are occasionally vehicles outside in the car park and a buy zone. Not always there, sometimes it is. But it is definitely one of the places you want to drop on this game if you are looking to get involved in a lot of kills. As the gameplay here will show you, I actually dropped into solo squads and decided to just see how many kills I could get in a very short amount of time. But it comes up on the first kind of occasion here, you see exactly what I was talking about. Angles. As we start to make our way inside, already finding our very first camper hiding in a corner. And as we move further into the building, you'll see that not only is there still plenty of loot about, considering how many people actually ended up dropping here, but people will come at you from every single direction, and I haven't even made it to the ground floor yet. Once I do make it to the ground floor, things get even trickier here. Being on my own in this game meant I couldn't really take an awful lot of chances of being passive because a team would overwhelm me. Unfortunately, being aggressive also didn't work just because there are so many corners. And as you can see, there's another corner and there's another player. Fortunately, I managed to get away with that one. It's not going to work out all the time, but you can get some really good games here if you manage to get into them. And I suggest, this is a place you come if you want to get better at learning those close quarter gunfights. You drop here, you lose a few games, but you do get experience, and you will get better when you have to make those gunfights in other games in safer areas. Well, I died and I'm now in the gulag, so I guess that means this is over. That has been the map at the Superstore. I hope you enjoy dropping. Well, there you go. We've had a little bit of an explore of the Atlas Superstore, and hopefully you understand it a little bit better and what to expect if you do end up dropping there with the boys. Now, of course, that is it for this week, but please subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure you check out our Reddit at MoreZone, and our Twitter, the MoreZone. We'll be back each and every week on Tuesday at 8 PM to bring you all the latest news, tips, tricks, and plays. This has been MoreZone. I've been Alan Bryce. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
It's one shot,